All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. It was another wild day in the stock market. Everything we talked about yesterday, gold, bonds, and the dollar, we saw a lot of action. And this idea of the Trump trade, it is really starting to take Wall Street over. So I want to show you guys something very important because I started off the beginning of the week talking about how things could move with these odds and even if we get a sweep, but I need you all to understand there is a lot of opportunity out there and you need to start getting prepared. When I am telling you that I think this is nonsense, it's not as political as you think. I am telling you that there is a lot of opportunity. Quite frankly, I am sick of this idea of people telling me about the politics and the politics when just fact of the matter is, man, I am here to help you guys out. I am here to give you information and ideas. I've done it for years. I have done it free of charge, and here are those results. This is your long term. We could even talk a little bit about the trading. We've done it on multiple accounts here, but the whole idea is the politics are not getting in the way of opportunity. Even this year, while we have had one of the biggest rallies in 100 years, we have made sure we have been able to take advantage of it. So I really hope all of you can learn from this, and it doesn't matter who you are voting for. I really think this information is going to help you out. So I'm going to share with you my idea. We're going to talk about how it factors into today because, yes, one part of the bond market, it is talking about soft landing, no landing, and then it's factoring in things into the future, but also people are talking about the Trump trade and how this is affecting a lot of things. So I want you to see all of the opportunities out there. And like we said, there's only like 9 trading days until the election. So a lot of things can start moving from here. So I have a very good video for you. We're going to go over a lot of opportunity. I'll even go over a couple of plays. There's big news with McDonald's, even JP Morgan. We'll cover all of that. I'll go over what I did today. What I need from you, a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the stock market. We will see you there in the morning, baby. Run it.
Working to the couch, it's the 2020 election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then it feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
Right off the bat, it's no secret. You've been hearing about this Trump trade, and I've been telling you, I think it is total nonsense. What is the Trump trade? How everybody is portraying it right now is that Trump is going to cause a lot of inflation through his tax breaks, and then the tariffs are going to lead to a lot of inflation. That's why the long-term bonds are selling off, and people are anticipating longer-term inflation. Remember, before the odds were even moving for Trump, you were already watching that move. All the bonds and all the inflation expectations, they were already moving in that direction. Now, why do I think this is nonsense? Especially, you are hearing very educated and very rich people who are advocating this idea. Thank God Mark Cuban even said you could be rich and foolish. He said that the other day. Thank God for Mark Cuban, but the whole idea is they're saying that he is going to cause this inflation. One big problem I have with it is that this whole idea of the Trump trade, it is encompassing both candidates because everybody is conveniently leaving out the part that Kamala can also cause inflation as well. And why do I say that? Because this is how the bonds look, and go check an inflation chart from when Biden took over. Now, obviously, it was a different time, and it was post-recovery, but don't shame me for looking at the biggest bearish bond market in the last 50 years as a result of we've seen a lot of policies, housing. Again, there's so many things that go into it. Now, I'm not here to shame anybody like I am telling you. I want you to see the opportunity. All right, guys, stop talking about politics. So here's the deal. there is two ways, if you want to look at this simply, that you can make money off this, if you agree or disagree. If you agree with this idea, you should continue to short the bonds and play trades that would benefit if we get high inflation. Surprisingly, even commodities, they would play a role. That is something that I would think about. Otherwise, if you disagree with this idea, you could buy the bonds and even take advantage of this short-term move. That's even something that I did right after the debate. It worked out, but now you are right back to that spot. Now, like I'm telling you, this is the simple surface level way to find opportunity in this trade. What I really want you guys to all understand better than all of these options is understand all of the industries that will get affected. If we are really talking about a Trump trade, if we are truly talking about a legitimate, and yeah, I'm not saying that there's a bad thing, bro. If this is going to create opportunity, you need to be able to find that. If it's a true Trump trade and something like we saw in 2016, the Trump trade and the Republican sweep, it affected more than just the bonds and inflation. It moved up oil, it moved up small caps, it brought down gold, and it brought down the bonds. So this is what I was showing you guys at the beginning of the week. You really need to save this chart and study it, because look at what happened. These red dots are where we were at the beginning of the week, and you could see what happened under the last Trump trade. But what I want you guys to notice, it is not just bonds. It's not just inflation. There is foreign equities like Mexico. Gold is going to have something to do with it. Clean energy, the SPY, but then commodities like copper, and then even the small caps and regional banks even, they were surprisingly the biggest winner. This is what we really need to be talking about. So vote for who you want to. When I'm telling you this idea is nonsense, I hope you get what I'm saying. It's not that, oh, you got to vote for this. No, I'm saying that everybody is only talking about one of 10 aspects of this trade, and it doesn't make sense. All of the Trump trade or even a Kamala trade, it comes as a package. There is no such thing as a la carte Trump trade where you only get to say, oh, only the bonds will do this or not. And then even then, if you have people saying they are shorting the bonds, well, what else are they doing? Because there is more than just one opportunity. And obviously, it's not going to play out exactly like 2016. And now we're entering a new situation. But you got to keep this in mind. But if I'm going to go off of any template, it is not looking at just one asset class. So when people are saying the bonds and all of this Trump trade stuff, sadly, it's tied to the soft landing, hard landing. We got to be looking at everything else, and that is why we're waiting for earnings and even the election to hopefully free up some of these moves. So I hope you guys are getting what I'm saying. I really hope you find opportunity in all of this. And now, coming into the final key, I do think in the short run, we will be getting a mini bond bounce, because I do think this idea is going to go back and forth, and then you're going to get the final moves leading into the election. Remember, all of this and a lot more truth will come to light in only a few days, and then we are going to start dealing with the whole next balled up issue and then playing the catalyst game. But I do want you guys to realize something, and this is the weird part. No matter what's going on right now, it does seem like all roads are leading to inflation. Go look at the bonds. Go look at inflation expectations. They're already cutting rates. We're seeing things move. If certain things happen from here on out, whether it's Kamala or Trump, it seems like on the longer term horizon, people are expecting inflation, and real big emphasis on longer term. You see that through TLT and the bonds. But why I'm saying this, because we talked about a theory today where people are floating around this idea that, well, maybe we do get inflation in like 3 to 5 years, but before that, we might get deflation, a crisis, or some sort of recessionary period that balances things out. And then the response plus policy, that's what leads to the next wave of inflation. So fact of the matter is, inflation is lurking around the corner, and I think with a long enough time frame, I don't think we have defeated that Bowser just yet. So we'll see how it all plays out, but these are the things I want you to keep your mind on. And all in all, for this video or not, I really hope you guys start thinking about 2025, and there will be a lot of good news and things to follow up and new things that are happening. But also some of these macro things from China to inflation to Fed policy. These are all still the stuff and things that we're going to be juggling and will be developing in the next year. So I really hope this helps you out. Let me know if you have any ideas, and good luck. But now, let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, man, I got to start with this one. I think this is wild. McDonald's. So there was a news 10 minutes after the bell today that there was an E.coli outbreak in over 10 different states affecting 50 people from McDonald's Quarter Pounders. They say the Quarter Pounder and the fresh sliced onions. There was even one death. So it's a very sad story when it's all said and done, but whether it's a conspiracy or not, I just hope you realize this is the story. McDonald's has been moving for three big things. They just had earnings. They were going crazy. Then you have this Trump thing. They said they didn't want to get involved, and now you see all these pictures, and then shortly after, you're hearing this. This could hurt their brand, and it could be a real big health scare, but fact of the matter is, as far as opportunity is concerned, I think this is going to play out very weird for this stock. It may take some time. The last time you saw a serious E. coli outbreak on a stock, it was Chipotle around like 2014 or 2015, and that affected it for a while. Eventually, you see where Chipotle is now. It didn't hold them back. I think even Jack in the Box in the 90s, they had an E. coli outbreak. So usually, if it's more limited to the stores, it's easier. But if this has to do with like meat supply or anything like that, and then if it does hurt their brand, you're going to see some movement. So I would watch out for these plays. The stock dropped 10%, already bounced up like 4%, so it's down 6 now, but I think this could move a lot, and I've been saying it, man. I'm not too worried about this. If this thing goes down to like even $250, I would like it at like $200, but we missed it at $250 earlier this year, and I was kicking myself for it. I like McDonald's for the long term, so this might be one of those names that I'll be eyeing, but watch out for that. It's definitely going to be getting a lot more headlines in the future, and you are going to see it move tomorrow, but that is play number 1, and then play number 2, JP Morgan. So here's the deal with this one. There was a New York Times report that apparently Jamie didn't want to tell anybody, but he supports Kamala. So then they wrote an article about it, but the stock actually had a drop. It was pretty wild because this was one of those things. And today, oh my goodness, there was so many false signals. It was disgusting. We saw it was like Fivin, Duolingo, JP Morgan, I want to say Uber, who else? Sweet Greens. There were so many of these names. Futu, no, Futu is just the China one, but they all moved like 3% and then no news. A lot of pump fakes, but this was the move. It was pretty big on that headline, then it bounced up, but I think it brings up some interesting things. So this one is definitely a longer term play to look out for. And again, I own JP Morgan in the long term, so I'm not saying panic, but keep your eye out for this. Like I'm telling you, one, regional banks, they moved a lot under the first Trump trade in 2016. Look at where they're at now. I'm surprised people aren't talking about it, but keep your eye out for that. And then JP Morgan, if this does develop into any beef with Trump down the road, we'll see how this plays out. Again, I mean, some people are worried they put a target on their back for Trump. Again, Trump didn't really clap anybody last time. We'll see if he does that. And again, he has to even win, so find out with all of that. But even then now, JP Morgan does kind of have an alignment politically, so we'll see where that takes us. But going to be watching that. That's play number 2. And then finally, play number 3, man. This is what I just opened up the video with, but long term, man. I'm telling you, this year has been absolutely insane. Even if we're about to get the election, if there's more hype or not, even if we get inflation, you remember what happened in the first round of inflation till it finally starts clapping things. Just all of these things, man, the long term has been amazing. I've told you, you will lose money. This is not a recommendation. You will lose money trading. You will grow your wealth with the long term. Now, obviously, you can make money with trading, and we've had some great plays, but like I've always offered you, the long term is where a big focus could be. And years like this, man, and just imagine, beginning of the year, things were already elevated. You've had so many things go on. We even had a flash crash in August. I'm telling you, the list goes on, but you see how important the long term is. And I said it today, man, my politics have not gotten in the way of investing. I do hope you guys can learn, grow your wealth, and mature. But like I'm saying, look at the accounts. You could see what's going on. And I've done all of this right in front of you guys for free in the middle of all of the news and everything, even financial media. You have to realize at some point, saving, owning long-term equities, and going little by little and giving yourself a long time frame, it's not going to hurt you, man. I really need you to realize you cannot trust anybody. You need to learn to think for yourself, and hopefully you have good principles. And look what the market has taught you and shown what it has done. And yeah, there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of speculation, but there's a whole different ball game when it comes to the long term. If you don't believe me, like I'm saying, don't believe all the words that I say, but actually look at what we built. We built all of these accounts from scratch. The long term and the middle, doesn't matter how political or not we are. I mean, we are taking advantage of, again, one of the biggest rallies that have ever happened. Again, I posted a video the other day. These accounts a year, 2 years ago was at 100 grand. And yeah, we deposit and save, but we're growing. We got to pick up the Metas and the Netflixes when they were cheap, and we are taking advantage of all of these opportunities. That's what I'm saying with this whole video. I want you guys to see the opportunity. And yeah, there will be a lot of politics. The heat could be up, but you got to make sure you get your opportunities. There will be short-term opportunities. We're going to need real volatility, but day by day, little by little, that long-term in positioning with these companies, there is a huge, huge opportunity. So just don't get lost in the sauce, man. And I really hope you see it in the plan that has been outlined in the mission that we're on for the long term. You have watched me go cash. I've given you advance warning on a lot of things. You've seen how I've been fully invested, but you also see how we've talked about diversification, different asset classes, thinking about real estate, making sure we got value, locking in yield at the same time, having growth when they get cheap. If they go through, oh, I don't want those anymore, we buy them up. So I really hope you guys are learning, because these are things that you've seen in a very difficult environment, and you are going to be able to take them with you as you move forward. So I really hope that helps. Shout out to the long term, and be wise, because we have so much more opportunity and craziness along the way. So that's play number 3. As far as everything else, all I made was one play today, 3M. I grabbed November 15th, 165 calls. I grabbed 2 of them at 11 cents a pop, $22. This was going to be my post earnings. I lost on my put and call, my 40, 50 bucks both ways on the pre-earnings. They did good. They were up 5% pre-market. Everything was going good, and then they had their conference call, and then they sold off to down 2. So if you grab the post-earnings puts, that is where you would have made your like 700%. So whiffed it on those. We'll see if it comes back. These have a little bit of time, but I don't think they are. I think we're going to lose the $20 and the initial $90 that we played on the earnings play. If I am able to salvage anything, I probably will, and I will give you updates on that if I do. But other than that, not much to look at. We'll see if anything happens overseas. We are going to get a little bit more data tomorrow, but the real bigger data should happen Thursday. A little bit step up on data next week and bigger earnings, and then before you know it, pal in the Fed. So I hope you're ready, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to remember, with the same way and same fervency you treat discipline and working hard, you need to treat yourself good. And you need to make sure that you are gracious and grateful with yourself. Because if you cannot love yourself and be gracious to yourself, it will be extremely difficult to enjoy the riches of life and extend that to others, my friend. So show some love to yourself, baby. You've done good, but that is all I have for you. Drink the water, stay hydrated and healthy, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the morning, and Horna.